Okay, boys and girls, this is day 1 of week 10, and I am going to play this audio of the book, The Treasure of El Dorado, and then I will explain one of the questions, multiple choice questions that you have for today, and the grammar worksheet on suffixes, okay? And so let's enjoy The Treasure of El Dorado.
The Treasure of El Dorado, written by Catherine Follett, illustrated by Loic Bilio. Focus question. Andre finds two kinds of treasure in this story. What are they? Andre's personal blog. Draft saved June 13th, 1:45 a.m. This blog may seem a bit crazy, but I have to write this down just in case. I'll be going on an expedition to Colombia in a few days to explore Lake Guatavita. We're looking for artifacts from the Muisca civilization. That may sound like the crazy part, but it's not. Here it is. I have a treasure map that my grandpa used to show me as a kid. If you're reading this, sorry for taking it, abuelo. There's just a sketchy drawing and this little guide that I translated below. On the brightest day, with the shortest night, the full moon will rise in the keyhole of the crater. Wade into the waters as far as you can, farther still, and there you will find the treasure. I have reason to believe that this may lead to some clue, or perhaps even to El Dorado. You see, around 3,000 years ago, long before the Spaniards came to South America, the native people loved beauty rather than wealth, so they gave all their gold to the goddess of Lake Guatavita. The king would cover his body with gold and jewels and then rinse himself in the lake. Year after year, all the gold and gems would just settle to the bottom. This real ritual inspired the legend of a golden city. Many explorers have tried to find it and failed. My abuelo told me that his grandfather told him stories that contained the secret of where that gold lay. I hope to use Jacques, the submersible robot, to explore the lake using this map and find the gold while everyone else is none the wiser. Andre's video blog, 2017 Columbia Expedition, June 19th, 10:12 a.m. Andre, panting. Hey guys, Andre here from the Muisca Research Expedition. We've arrived at the lake and it's beautiful. The video doesn't do it justice. The water sits in this bowl-shaped crater with a weird notch on one side, almost like a pitcher. It's not hard to understand why it was sacred to the Muisca people. Video update, June 20th, 10:38 a.m. Andre, as you can see, we are loading our rowboat. This box is a sonar unit. We'll use it to scan the lake bottom and note anything interesting. That lump there is Jamie, the other research assistant. Jamie, man, I did not sleep well, so go easy. How is it freezing cold in June? Andre, and that scorpion-shaped robot is Jacques Cousteau. He's a sonar and video-equipped underwater drone. I hear he costs more than the entire expedition. Cat, you'd be right. Jacques will be hanging out until the sonar shows where to send him. Andre, that's our professor, Cat. This part of the process is pretty dull, rowing back and forth to cover the whole lake. So goodbye for now, unless we find something. Video update, June 20th, 11:52 a.m. Cat, oh my, that looks like cut stone. That is very unexpected. Can we mark this on the GPS for Jacques? Jamie, there's another one, lined up like the walls of a building or something. Andre, looks like we found something. Tune in tomorrow when we launch Jacques. Video update, June 20th, 11:12 p.m. Jamie, I can't believe the Muisca just dumped gold into the lake. Cat, living in this lovely place, they probably gave it away happily to thank their goddess. Jamie, I can see that. Just being happy to live under the moon and stars like this. Andre, tomorrow night is the summer solstice and a full moon at the same time. That hasn't happened for almost 75 years. Cat, is that right? Andre, is it possible to take Jacques out and explore the site at night? Cat, he can work in deep, dark water, but we wouldn't paddle out there now. Andre, but he could. Cat, sure, I suppose. Don't get any ideas, though. Andre, no way. Video update, June 21st, 5:35 p.m. Cat, 5 meters? 2 meters? Okay, boys, wrestle him over. Jamie, careful not to hit the side of the boat. Cat, lights, and we have video feed. Gosh, this water is so cloudy. Wait, I see something. It's a jaguar carving, and definitely stone. My goodness. Thunderclaps. Andre, are you kidding? Today it decides to storm? Cat, we should get off the water. I'm bringing Jacques up, boys, so get ready to grab him. Jamie, here comes the wind. Okay, ready, Andre? On 3. 1, 2, lift. Cat, grab those oars, Andre. Row, row. Andre, it looks like someone's shooting into the water. Ow. Cat, it's hail. Jamie, covered the gear. Andre, row, row. Andre, ow, I'm rowing. Audio update, June 21st, 6:03 p.m. Sound of rain. Andre, sorry for the bad sound. I'm in my tent, and it's still raining. Things are a mess here. There's a hole in the boat, and our laptops are totally soaked. Obviously, my camera is shot since it's only recording audio. Jacques may be broken, though he wouldn't be much use without a boat anyway. People are saying the trip is over. It's still cloudy, so I won't be able to see the moon rise anyway. Unbelievable. I've been dreaming of this since I was 10, and the whole thing gets ruined by the stupid weather. Maybe it's for the best. Maybe I should give up on the idea of finding El Dorado. Video update, June 21st, 8:15 p.m. Andre, I got the camera working, and the rain stopped. Check that out. The moon is lined up in that V-shaped notch in the crater. In the keyhole of the crater, wade into the waters as far as you can. Farther still. Let's do this. I'm going to set you down on this rock. It's dark, so I'll try to let you know what's happening. Splashing water. I'm in. It's freezing. Going under. Splashing water. So dark down there. I had to feel around. This box was all I could find. It's a cheap toy. Just an old jaguar figurine. There's a metal tube in its mouth. It has a screw cap. Don't think the Muisca had those. There's a note inside. It's in Spanish. You have found my greatest treasure of my ancestors, the symbol from my grandfather of the Muisca people. On the day June 22nd, 1954, Mario Fernandez. Abuelo, my grandpa, He was just a kid who buried his treasure, and I was just a kid when he told me, so I believed him. El Dorado, indeed. Video update, June 29th, 4:50 p.m. Andre, we're heading up the walk to my abuelo's house. I figured since you all joined me in finding his greatest treasure, you might as well see it returned to him. Opens door. Hola, abuelo? You in the living room? Abuelo, who's hiding behind that camera? Andre, my boy! Andre, no, no, don't get up. I brought you something. I meant to tell you before I left, but my archaeology class went to Colombia. Abuelo, really? You went to my home? Andre, we were looking for Muisca artifacts, but we ran into some bad weather, so this was all I brought back. We found a big stone jaguar. My professor is going back next year. Let me help you with that bubble wrap. I covered it in tape so it wouldn't break on the trip home. Don't cry, abuelo. Abuelo, how did you ever? My padre passed this down from his padre from many generations back. It's jaguar bone and gold dust from the mountains. Andre, wait, it's real? Abuelo, most of the gold is gone, but as a child it was my treasure, a reminder of how rich our people once were. I couldn't bear to take her from her home when I came to the United States, so I sank her for Guaravita, like our ancestors did. I thought I would go back, but I never got the chance. I want you to have it. Andre, you should keep it, Grandpa. It's your treasure. Abuelo, our treasure. I pass her to you. Connections. Writing.
Okay. So that was the reading for this week's or part of this week's ELA. And then you have these questions, multiple choice questions for number one. And if you read in the directions, it says to underline in the text where you're finding your answers. So continue to do that. And then I believe that for day one, there's only the multiple choice questions and then the grammar, which I will go over at the end, okay? So here's the instructions or directions. It says, read each question carefully and choose the best answer. And so like, for example, number one says, who is telling the story? Is it abuelo telling the story or Jamie, a narrator, like somebody else telling the story, somebody else besides the characters in the story, or is it Andre? And if you go back to the story, at the very beginning, there's this Andre's personal blog, which is like a journal that he is keeping online in a website. So this is his personal blog, which means that he is writing all of this. And then it gives you the date and the time when he's writing these things in his website. And then he begins by saying, this blog may seem a bit crazy, but I have to write this down just in case. And then he continues on to use the first person point of view kind of vocabulary when he says, I'll be going on an expedition to Colombia in a few days to explore Lake Guaravita. And so if he's using words such as I, mine, me, and then this is Andre. So this is Andre speaking. I believe. And then besides that, as you go through the pages, notice the title of each section. There's updates. Andre's video blog. So again, he's uploading these videos in his website. and then it tells you the date again and the time. And so there's updates for each section, see? So the updates are of Andres' videos. So he is the one uploading the videos. So it seems to me like he is the one telling the story. And so when it says here, who is telling the story? Well, Abuelo is not the one uploading those videos or making those videos. Jamie is not. It is not a narrator. It is Andre who is keeping record of his activities by making videos and uploading them. So I would say Andre is telling the story. So I would choose D. Okay, he's the one. But then again, notice how I went back to the story and I double checked and underlined and I looked for those words that told me that it's Andre telling the story. And then you go on with the rest of the questions. Remember that when in this type of questions, when it says, what conclusion can you draw? It's not talking about a concluding sentence. It's talking about what inference can you make? So conclusion in here means inference, okay? What inference can you make, okay, about Andre based on his actions in the story? Can we infer or conclude that Andre becomes frustrated easily when things don't go his way? Or can we infer that Andre is interested only in gold and not the team's research? Or is it that Andre is curious and enthusiastic about finding treasure at the bottom of the lake? Or that Andre worries about something going wrong during his expedition? So you can choose A, B, C, or D, but then go back to the story and double check, underline the evidence that makes you or that supports your inference. And I'm skipping all of these pages because the package that you got, we took out some of the pages. Okay, but right next to the multiple choice questions, then you have the grammar page, which is on suffixes. And let me explain that one real quick. Hope that you're not getting dizzy with all of this, and I apologize. But here it is. Okay, so here's day one of your grammar. It says instructions. It says add the suffix ly. Okay, we're going to be adding, remember that suffix means the letters that are added at the end of a word, a base word. Okay, you have the base word or the root word that stands by itself. It makes sense by itself. And then to change the meaning of it a little, we can add a suffix at the end. So in this case, it says to add the suffix ly to each word. And then we need to choose the correct word from the word bank, from this box, to complete each sentence from the book. So these sentences, 1 through 4, these are sentences that are being taken directly from the book, okay? And so we're going to need to go back to the story and find out where that sentence is so that you can choose the correct choice, the correct word from here, okay, once you add the ly suffix. So choose the correct word from the word bank to complete each sentence. And then it says that at the bottom, the very bottom, this right here, at the bottom of the page, add the suffix ly to each word and then use it in a complete sentence. So you're going to add ly, as in, for example, right here, certain, and then ly, certainly. And so certain becomes certainly, okay? And it is an adverb. And then you're going to use it in a sentence on the blank right there. Okay, so going back here. So add the suffix ly. So for example, obvious becomes obviously, and then total, totally, and so on. Okay, and then once you add ly to each of the words, then you are going to decide which one goes with which sentence. For example, here we have number 1. It says, there's a hole in the boat and our laptops are blank soaked. are obviously soaked, are totally soaked, or definitely or lovely soaked. Now, I do remember, okay, or I looked it up already because I was going to make the video, but let me go back to the text and find that one sentence, okay, and see what word goes on the blank. And so you would go back to the text and try to find the specific sentence. Because I got ready, I prepared for this. I know that the first sentence is on page 11, okay, right here. Page 11, where it says, there is a hole in the boat. Let me see. Right here, it says, there's a hole in the boat and our laptops are, here it is, totally soaked. Okay, so that's where sentence number 1 is. So the word is going to be not obviously or loudly, but it's totally. So let me go back to the sentence and change that or write that. All right, so there's a hole in the boat and our laptops are totally soaked. Okay, and so I can now cross out totally because I used it already, and then you have 3 more to find, okay, where they or which sentence they should go in. And that's it. That's it for day 1. Okay, if you need any help, please don't hesitate to contact me, and thank you for completing all of your work. For day 1, remember that you are also reading independently, and at this point we should be done with the Wonder book. And so if you're done with the Wonder book, then you can read any other book for your 30 minutes of independent reading. But if you didn't finish the Wonder book, if you fell behind, then you can catch up this week before you have to return the book. Okay,